Boys, this is a more serious question to start the show.
Oh,
don't usually do this.
Mood
Here
setting.
we go.
All right.
All right. I don't want to offend anyone to start the show off, but here we go. What's the weirdest thing you've seen in someone else's house?
Oh my God. You know how many houses I've been in? This requires a lot of thought.
I know. This should have been an afternoon text message.
It should have been.
It would have, but I would have taken up my entire day. So I'm kind of glad you did.
Wow. I don't even know where to begin thinking about this. Like, what era of my life do I start in? Do I start with friends? Do I start with family? Do I start with acquaintances?
Yeah. Ooh.
Well, the weirdest thing for me, guys.
Yeah, please get us started.
Is I saw this was happened in July. I was at someone's house that like I'm not friends with. It was a random colleague, and I was at this person's house. They had a Christmas tree up in July. And no, it's not the weirdest, shockingest thing.
Yeah.
But it was up in July. And I was afraid to say something about it. Because, like, I feel like if someone has a Christmas tree up in July, it could mean a lot of things. It could mean just you're obsessed with Christmas. It could mean that you're an adult who believes in Santa Claus. It could also mean that, like, I don't know, was in, like, I don't know, memoriam of someone. You're like, I just can't put it down. I don't know, someone died. So I was afraid. All these things are going through my head. Why do they have a Christmas tree in their house? And I asked the person I was with, and they were like, yeah, I don't know. We just let it go.
Like lights on and everything.
Oh, yeah. Christmas tree up in July with lights on.
It's funny you say that because there's on the way out of our neighborhood, when we go to the grocery store, we drive past this house that has it's designed for an extravagant Christmas tree because it's got like the one end of the house has like a really high ceiling with windows all the way up. And this family puts the most amazing Christmas tree in their house every year. And we drove back from the grocery store today and I noticed they still have their Christmas tree up. And it's January 15th. So, Didi, I'm with you. If I walk into somebody's house, like, do they get really into celebrating Christmas in July? Do they really love watching Hallmark Channel this time of year? Like, what is going on? Why do you have a Christmas tree up? That is very strange. That is very strange. But and I think it's also funny that you're afraid to ask because I would totally be afraid to ask too.
Yeah. Like, there's too many things. My brain doesn't work like that, where like I can't think about the most horrible reason why you can't answer this, why you can't ask this question.
Right. So I've got one. I will admit I haven't actually been inside of this home, but so it's actually my next door neighbor. And he certainly isn't listening, so I feel completely comfortable talking about this. At one point, he clearly had downsized from a house and he's in this townhouse now. And he was moving some stuff, which looked like it was maybe moving some stuff out of the house into a storage unit because he just had a U-Haul van and he was just loading some random stuff up. He clearly wasn't moving and peeking out the window a little bit just to see what he was up to. I was like, maybe so he was just taking some stuff out, probably into storage. He has like this, or I guess had, this collection of Kevin Hart movie posters. And I should have started by saying this is like maybe a 62-year-old white man who works in, finance. And he has but it's not even like, it's like Ride Along 2. And he has like the huge framed poster of that. And
it's framed. It's framed.
They're framed. Like the big posters. Yeah. And like multiple Kevin Hart posters. And he's just taking them out into his U-Haul van, assumingly put into safe storage somewhere. But like never in a million years, it makes no sense why he has these. And just very, very strange. Very, very strange.
That is strange. Amazing. Yeah. And you saying that, like, I'm glad you said his age, because me and Dee Dee both know that you live around older folks. So it was immediately
Yes.
funny.
Yeah.
Immediately. I was like, what?
Had to set the stage for everybody else to see what we're working with. Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Dan's yeah. Guys, I need time to think about this. The only thing that has come to mind so far is not in the person's house, but it's right outside the person's house. Right along that, I was just saying, like, as you go out of our neighborhood, go left, get to another road, you go right. There's a house that has like it's a lawn decoration of a gigantic boulder with a canoe that crashed into it, and like the boulder's going through the bottom of the canoe, and it's like just propped up in the front yard outside the front door. So that's not in the house, but it's a very weird thing. And like, for those people, I would rather that be in the house, because then thousands of people aren't driving by it every day and seeing it. Like, this house is by a rather major road in our township, and it's just, I never met the people. So I've never gotten the chance to ask. And if I did meet them, like I said, I would be too afraid to ask. It's a very weird thing.
Yeah, like driving by, judging them immediately. I don't know if I've ever even seen anything like that.
Yeah, I'll try and get a picture
really
of it sometime
Please.
soon. Yeah.
You got to get one. Yes. I need you to get one.
I'm
ASAP.
off tomorrow, so I'll drive by.
There you go.
Please, you have to. You have no choice. That is your role. Put the kids in the car, go see the canoe. Let's go.
Yeah.
What's up? It's Dee Dee out here in Los Angeles. Chris and Dan are in Pittsburgh. It is the Brunch Breakdown podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And since this is the second episode of 2023, we're going to do some leftovers. We have some leftover topics that were in 2022. And we're going to get rid of them today here in 2023. And we have a lot to talk about. Celebs we drink Trulies with. We've got best pizza styles. We've got some hand-me-down topics and just a bunch of other stuff. We're going to talk about a lot of things: beer, music, all that good stuff. Dan, let everybody know where they can find the Brunch Breakdown.
Of course. Welcome to the nation's first and very only cross-country pop culture podcast. This is the Brunch Breakdown. You can find us anywhere you find podcasts, whether that's Apple, Spotify, Google, SoundCloud, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Audible, our good friends at Good Pods. Anywhere you can find us. Hit follow, hit subscribe, let those new episodes every week come directly to you every Wednesday. They come to you every Wednesday morning. We also have full video episodes that air the same day. Those premiere on our YouTube and our Facebook pages at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Of course, available on demand anytime you want to watch after that. We're everywhere on social media at Brunch Breakdown. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Triller, TikTok. Follow us. We follow you back. Have a great brunch relationship here. And of course, we give you new music that we're listening. Well, let me correct that. We give you music that we're listening to every week. Some of it's new, some of it's not new. We curate that into what we call the Sounds of Brunch playlist that gets updated exclusively on Spotify every Friday. Simply search Sounds of Brunch.
Dan, I feel like you somebody gave you inside information on the music I'm going to be putting on the playlist this week.
Maybe. A little bird source inside your house may have told me.
I may or may not have a song.
Staying it back in time.
I may or may not have a song from the 90s this week. So
last week we were 20 years old on your stuff. So I figured, you know what? We're probably going back to the future here with you once again. Just
strap in, folks. Let's go.
Why you listen to the playlist on Spotify every week. You never know what you're going to get. Yeah. We got something for everybody. All right. Well, now it's time to get random topics off our chests. It's time to get it off our chest. Chris, go for it, man.
All right, guys. I want you to back me up here. And I want you to help solve a little bit of a debate that's been going on in my household. And
spicy. Let's go.
I'm relatively confident that you guys are going to agree with the statement I'm about to make. So that's why I'm going to make it. Virtually every man on earth has at least one article of clothing that is a little tattered, a little worn.
Oh boy.
Not something that you would necessarily wear out to dinner, right? But through years of hard work, determination, consistency, and wearing that article of clothing, it has become one of the most comfortable pieces of clothing that you own. And that's okay. Because once again, virtually every man on earth has at least one article of this type of clothing. Please back me up here. Am I right about making that? Is that accurate? Do you have one of these articles of clothing?
I'll confirm. I'll confirm and say yes. It might be one or two at the most. It's a low number. But yeah, I'll back you up on that. At least one.
That's the debate.
Yeah, my wife hates this one t-shirt that I wear. It's like a under the hoodie t-shirt. And Katie can't stand the fact that I wear it. She wants me to get rid of it, and I just can't because it's so unbelievably soft, you know? So then like you have that, and then you put the layer of warmth with I don't have the shirt on right now. Otherwise I would unzip and show you guys. But like, yeah, she's not a fan of it. And I try to explain to her like every guy has this shirt, and you just gotta let it be.
Okay. I have one hoodie that never leaves the house. Like, I don't go to the grocery store with it on. I don't do anything with the thing. And that's basically it. It's my Notre Dame undefeated season sweatshirt.
Well, that's because that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's why you don't wear that.
That has nothing to do with how tattered it is. It's just
right.
embarrassing about the graphic.
And I love that sweatshirt. I get more comments from that sweatshirt than any other sweatshirt because people just stop me and they're like, wait, when was that? And I'm like, that's like they were undefeated for the season.
Yeah.
But the regular part of
the regular season. Just like, was your team? No. All right. Get
so, Chris, your homework assignment tomorrow has now changed a bit where we need you to go into the yard with the canoe, with the shirt on, selfie, all of it. Of it.
Yep.
That's what we need. So your wife, Katie, she doesn't have any old articles of clothing like, oh, this is my JJ Watt high school t-shirt that I like to go to bed in or anything like that. Like, I kind of find that hard to believe that she doesn't have something like that.
You know what? I don't. She probably does. I don't really pay attention to like clothes that much, you know. So I don't know. She probably does. It's probably.
I can't wait to get that text on Wednesday morning. By the way, from your wife.
Yeah, I don't know. She probably does. But it's an okay thing to have that one shirt that you've invested a lot of time and effort into.
So she wants you to get rid of it. She's saying you're weird for holding on to this. And you're saying, no, this is what guys do.
Well, yeah, I'm not backing it up based on like all of the men and on earth. I'm backing it up
more common.
I'm backing it up based on it's really comfortable. I only wear it under a hoodie and I only wear it at home. So like, who really cares?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
and then also all men.
Maybe if you didn't work at home so much, maybe that's why. Like, you're always home. So like, maybe Katie's just like, if this were just your weekend tee that you've had forever, it'd be cool. But like, you guys have been home a lot.
I think she's just sick of me and she's taking it out on the t-shirt.
Okay. Honestly, that's a good answer too.
Yeah.
She's like, put on a button for crying out loud. That's what it's all about.
Dan, get it off your chest.
Okay, so the other night, I was out to dinner with my wife. We went out kind of a nicer restaurant. Okay.
Like Pottery Barn.
Yeah. The Pottery Barn of restaurants, if you will. And it was actually in this old, to set up the story real quick, the house, it was an old house that we were in. It's actually an old funeral home, but before that it was a house. We were told that like you go upstairs, the restrooms are really cool and whatever. So Shannon's like, well, I got to go to the restroom at some point and check it out. She's like, it's the size of a bedroom. So we're there I think between courses or before our food gets there, and she goes to check out the restroom. And I sat there and I kind of thought with myself, I'm at a table by myself at this point. I'm not taking out my phone. First of all, it's kind of a nicer place, and I kind of felt like that was a little millennial of me if I were to take out my phone. If I can't be alone, I need to take out my phone. But it had me sitting there thinking, like, what did our parents, grandparents do in those situations? Went out to dinner. Okay. They literally just had to sit there. Just sit there. No menu. Menus were gone. Can't sit there and fake it. Right. They didn't pull out a book. They didn't, bring a newspaper for like that 4 minutes that you might be alone at the table. Right. That didn't happen. So if you don't have food in front of you or a menu, you literally just have to sit there. And I would also say it was a nice restaurant. So there was no TVs up either. If you do out at a restaurant, bar or whatever, maybe you can be distracted, watch the TV, something like that, seem at least interested in something. But next time you're out to dinner, it just had made me think. And it was challenging, and I did it. And it just felt very awkward just sitting there. But next time you're out to dinner at a restaurant, no TVs, nothing like that, no food in front of you. If the person that you're with steps away for a few minutes, just sit there. And think about what our parents and grandparents had to do in the past before we had phones we could just whip out and distract ourselves with in those moments. It kind of blew my mind how weird and awkward it made me feel. And it was like, it wasn't that long ago that they were in this situation. And what did they do? I think they just had to sit there. And it was wild to me that we've come that far in that little amount of time.
Yeah. See, I think about this in elevators.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, because restaurants, especially if I'm out with friends out somewhere, like, I don't think about like I pull my phone out, whatever. But if it's me and Siobhan out, like, I don't really think about my phone. Like, even if she leaves the table, I don't even, my thoughts aren't on my phone.
Right.
Or whatever. So I never pull my phone out. But I think about that in like any other mundane situation, waiting in line for something, like waiting in line at the grocery store, waiting in line for anything. Like, I have my phone out. Like, what the hell did you do before? I guess they talk to each other. And that's why, like, our parents annoy us when they just start randomly talking to somebody. And, like, and you're just like, yeah. Dad, like, I understand that he has a West Virginia shirt on, but we're in Los Angeles. Like, I don't know him. You don't know him. You don't know his parents. You don't know anything. Like, but no, it's just, you got to spark the conversation up. You got to find out where the person lives, all that stuff too. So I get why, that's why they do that. Because they're like, yeah, I'm standing in line at the grocery store. That's what you do. You talk to each other. But yeah, we don't do that. I don't know if that's good or bad.
I love that you did that though, Dan. Like, this is going to sound super weird, but one of my goals this year is actually to like be okay more with just being bored.
Yeah.
Like, we used to be bored and then you just had to like think of shit or like get creative. And like, I feel like we've lost that because now we just like, no, I'm just entertained all day, every second. So yeah, I like that. I don't think I've like that setting in a restaurant is an interesting one because it's like you're with one person, that person leaves, and then you're also surrounded by people. So there's like the social dynamic of like, oh, like, are people watching what? Like, okay, I could just go to my phone, but yeah, that's an interesting environment.
Right. And like the tables were kind of close, so I could feel it. And I'm also facing a window. And so the rest of the room where the tables are behind me. So it was even more weird because I couldn't even like people watch.
Yeah.
Just had the glass of wine and I didn't want to just like keep going to the wine. Shane will come back and be like, what did you do? It's going for 3 minutes. Finish that glass. I was kind of hoping the waitress would almost come over, right? Spark a little conversation. Keep me entertained here or something. It was just, it was a fascinating period. And I thought it was a challenge. And now I'm going to continue to do that in those moments because easy to just pull that out and keep yourself occupied, but try that this year.
Yeah. Again, being bored more, and we have so much stuff now that it's like, you can't even, I don't know. You can't be bored.
Right.
I don't think that's good. Or at least not bored, just like not creative or something. It's like there used to be times when it was like, all right, there's nothing on TV. So like that's it.
Yeah.
But now it's like there's literally never a time where there's nothing on TV.
Right.
Yeah. And
Like
I don't
it's
think
just
that's healthy for people. Like I don't think like think about the human experience. Like this is the last 5 to 10 years of humanity have been like this, but like everything before that was not this. I don't know. I don't think we should like just be able to not deal with our shit all day because we can just constantly be entertained. I don't think it's a good thing.
Yeah. Weird. Man. All right. Well, I'm gonna get this off my chest.
Yeah.
The college football national championship game happened on Monday night.
Did it? You should have told TCU.
And it happened the way that I don't know if people talked themselves into believing that TCU was going to put up a better game or what it was, but I didn't think it was going to be that bad. 65-7. The worst blowout in bowl history. This is why I'm bringing this up. I have to get this off my chest. The worst blowout in bowl history. Not just the championship game, not just a big bowl game. Bowl history. There are 800 bowl games every year. And none of them have ended 65-7. Like, if this doesn't tell you that we need to pump the brakes on expanding the college football playoff for a little bit, I don't know what will. I really think we need to. I know it's coming and it was 2024. It's happening. But like, I really think we need to consider something and just say, did the college football playoff make college football more fun for us? And the answer is no. It is absolutely not. It did not make it more fun for us. It didn't make it more fun for TCU, because think about TCU. If their season ends in the Sugar Bowl, just regular bowl, Sugar Bowl, they beat Michigan, they go out, they're like, we're Sugar Bowl champions. They go into next season, probably with a solid ranking, and they're just happy. We beat Michigan in the Sugar Bowl. They're happy. Instead, after that huge win that no one expected them to get, they had to play another game and get embarrassed on national television. They were the game that everyone talked about the next day, like, what time did you go to sleep? Because that's how people talked about it. Every podcast I listened to, anybody I talked to, out and about, it was just, they were saying to me, we weren't talking about the game. We were just like, what time, when did you turn it off? Like, my dad called me the next day. It's like, when did you turn it off? How long did you watch it? That's what it was. That was the conversation for the national championship game. We're at least supposed to stay till the third. No. Everyone was like, no, I'm out of here. For the second quarter, I'm gone. Didn't even make it to halftime. Like, guys, everybody in charge of college football, pump the brakes. We can't have that happen again. We just, it can't, like, I don't know what we do, but don't expand this, because it's bad. And that's all I could think about this week, was just don't expand this thing. Please don't. We don't need any more teams. We don't need them, because TCU was good. Shit. Good. And I watched and the thing is, I watched USC all season. The same thing would happen if they got in. And so many other teams on the list, like, they would have got it too. They would have got it too. 65-7. Shit.
Yeah.
Had
to get that off my chest, guys.
I follow a Twitter account that, like, I don't remember the handle of it, but it's like, its sole existence is to prove that the BCS actually was right, like, every time.
It was.
And I'm starting to think that it was.
It was.
I know.
It wasn't perfect, but it was the way it should be.
Yeah, there was like 1 year where it got it bad, and then every other year was spot on.
Yeah, somebody got screwed big time one year, and that was like coming out with pitchforks at the end of this thing. But in the history of this playoff, this 14 playoff, I don't have the games in front of me, but in the few years it's been going on, there have been blowouts in either the semifinal games or what you now saw in the actual championship game. Neither is good. There shouldn't be blowouts when you have the top four, right? At all.
No.
At all. So that seems to be happening year after year. And this was, I mean, sure, all due credit to Georgia, but the national championship game, I think they said it was the least watched trophy ceremony in the history of college football. Yikes. Yeah.
Yeah. BCS was right. There's the one year, all I can think of, Auburn, the year they had like 800 people go in like the first round of the NFL draft and they didn't make the national championship. But that was it. That's it. I don't know. But yeah, bring back something. Bring back the BCS. Do something else. Can't do it. No. All right. Well, it's Brews Day, gentlemen. I'm going to go first because mine is not beer. I need to give a shout out to my favorite coffee in the entire universe. Okay. You know how you get certain things for Christmas, just like a random gift basket from somebody or something, or like an aunt who lives far away, she just sends you some random shit. Well, that happened for us. Siobhan's aunt lives in New Hampshire. She sent us a bunch of this stuff from New Hampshire, like whatever, syrup, all this other stuff. I don't make pancakes, pancake mix, whatever. There's this coffee in it. It's called White Mountain Gourmet Coffee. And let me tell you,
okay,
this maple coffee is incredible. It is legitimately the best coffee in the world. And it is not mass produced because you can see the way that it looks. It's just not. Like literally when you scoop it out, I'm not going to do that for you guys, but when you scoop it out, it's like powder. It's amazing. I didn't know coffee was supposed to or could look like this. It's incredible. I don't understand how coffee can be this good. I don't know how coffee can smell this good. And also it's really expensive to buy. So I was very happy when my wife got me this for Christmas, and I'm now on my last bag of this and I'm not going to use it for a while. I've been drinking it nonstop for the past like 3 weeks. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to save this for a rainy day. But anyways, so I want to give a shout out to White Mountain Gourmet Coffee. This is the best coffee brew in the universe.
First of all, I just want to say I find it rather ironic that you're going to save that for a rainy day, and it seems like it hasn't stopped raining in Los Angeles in quite some time. So
yeah, that's what I was
open that bad boy up tomorrow.
Pray for LA. Hashtag pray for LA.
That sounds amazing.
It is. It is.
Maple.
It just is.
Nice.
Chris.
Real big curveball on Brews Day, but
Oh, yeah.
I think it deserves to be here based on your explanation there. So I can't blame you.
Promise you. It's so good.
You brew it.
Well, Chris, what are you sipping on, man?
This is a repeat. I'll be honest with you guys. So last week, Brews Day had a real beer, a good beer, Son of Juice, right? And let's peel back the curtain here for the listener. The minute we stop recording,
Peel back the orange.
I go to bed. Okay. And
The minute.
I've been talking recently about how like alcohol, I notice more and more how it messes with my sleep, and had a terrible night's sleep. So this weekend I was like, you know what? I'm going to have a beer on like Saturday or like during the day, Sunday, while the football games are on, and I'll review it on the podcast Sunday night when we record. That didn't happen. So I'm bringing back the non-alcoholic Untitled Art Juicy IPA because my brother-in-law, Dan, he got me a smorgasbord of different beers, which I'm very thankful for. And this was in there and timed it perfectly. So hopefully I can sleep tonight, but also enjoy a good brew. And I'm interested in, because I think Dan, Didi, you may have mentioned this too. Last time I had this, you said that like the non-alcoholic craft brews are becoming a bigger deal. So Dan, if there are any around here that you would recommend, let me know. Because this one's really good. And sometimes you just want that beer taste without the terrible sleep. And, you know.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and they are certainly becoming much more popular. And we're kind of on the case. We're kind of on the case for you for that. We're on the lookout. There's a couple of spots that have some and haven't tried them quite yet, but very interested in the non-alcoholic game. It's certainly growing. It's certainly growing in Untitled Arts. I mean, can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
They're everywhere. Like there are whole sections dedicated. It used to be like a small section. Now it's like whole aisles of stores now.
And I haven't really gone looking for it purposefully. So maybe I just need to like pay closer attention when I actually go to look and buy beer. But
yeah. Because the thing is, I know because alcohol's a little different. Where in Pennsylvania, it's actually alcohol's really stupidly sold in Pennsylvania.
Correct.
So the way that it's set up is a little different. But like, I know for us, Total Wine and More, Bevmo, the huge like big box like alcohol, basically Walmarts of alcohol, here it's the non-alcoholic sections. They just grow every time you go in there. It's nuts, man. It's like there are so many different kinds of freaking rosés now that are non-alcoholic, like all of the wine sections, all of that shit. It's just non-alcoholic. It's crazy, but yeah.
Yeah, it's infuriating when you see those commercials for Drizzly and how genius it sounds. Order alcohol in there within 60 minutes. Not in the state of Pennsylvania, but they still advertise here. So
yeah,
that's infuriating. I hope everybody enjoys it on our behalf. So I have one that I clearly meant to drink this in December, and I don't know what happened. This is from the good folks at Evil Genius, their festive saison, and this is Santa, I Know Him.
That's awesome.
A line after one of my least favorite holiday movies, but we're going to see if this is one of my favorite holiday beers. I actually haven't never had this before, which is a little bit of a rarity for me. But there's a lot going on here, brewed with rose hips, chamomile, and black currants. So this one's going to be, we're going to do this live play-by-play here.
Let's go. He takes a sip. His pinky finger is up.
Ooh.
He's licking his lips.
How do you do?
Rose hips?
Yes. Rose hips. Rose hips can't lie.
How are the hips, Dan?
Man, I don't want to stop drinking this.
A little chamomile. Chamomile put you to sleep at night.
Which is perfect. Because we're getting, it'll balance out the alcohol. This is delightful. I needed this, 3-4 weeks ago. But on a cold winter's night like it is now, it's kind of a little bit of a warming sensation. It's not overly sweet, just like a slight spice to it, which you get, with your saisons, or they're darker. The black currants, you get that little bit of almost candy sweetness to it. This is nice. This is really nice. And it's very smooth, which not all saisons are smooth, ladies and gentlemen. They're certainly not. I'm trying to find an ABV on here for it. 7.2. Okay, so not bad. Not bad. But Santa, I Know Him, a festive saison from good people at Evil Genius. Thanks, nice. Santa.
Bringing Christmas back. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. It's like pumpkin season. Never ends.
Do you still have your Christmas tree up, Dan?
No.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it is down.
When is too late to put your Christmas tree down? Start looking at people weird.
I think we hit that.
Yeah. We have.
Same.
I think it just depends on how the calendar lays out. Like whenever New Year's happens, like the next weekend is like the last opportunity to take it down in my book.
Yeah, I think it's got to go down the morning of the 1st. Got to be gone. It's got to be gone. Morning of the 1st, got to be gone. If it ends up like if you get the holiday, like you end up having like the second off or something like that, maybe you can wait till then. But I feel like morning of the 1st, get the hell up, get the shit down.
Drill sergeant.
Wow.
Freaking watch the Rose Bowl or whatever.
Christmas is over, kids.
The wrap.
Time to go back to school. Everybody get out of my house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good God. Well, boys, cheers.
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 All right. Well, we got some leftovers. Let's get into them right now. Let's throw this one up. Christopher, which 3 celebs would you want to drink Trulies with? Here we go. In this chart, for people who are not watching, Paris Hilton, Ryan Cabrera, The Rock, Scott Stapp, Britney Spears, Miley Cyrus, Dennis Rodman, Lindsay Lohan, Pete Davidson, John Daly, Nicolas Cage, and Grunk. Which 3 of these amazing folks would you want to go out and drink Trulies with?
Who is Scott Stapp?
Really?
No idea.
Yeah.
No idea.
The lead singer of Can You Take Me Higher?
Oh, Creed?
Creed, yeah, Scott Stapp.
All right, I don't know why I would know that. So thanks for the history. Learn something every day.
This is the most random collection of people. Thanks to Barstool and Truly for putting this together. This is so random. So yeah, what 3 of these people would you want to go out and drink Trulies with? And I actually think that's kind of a big part of this.
Don't you wonder with some of these graphics, like who the group of people were that threw these names together and like who else was in the mix that didn't make the
Yes.
This is the most random. I mean, in some respects, this is a very random assortment of people. I will say I'm tempted to go with Lindsay Lohan, Britney Spears, and Paris Hilton just to talk early 2000s. Like, what the hell were you 3 up to? Can we do a brunch breakdown episode and talk about it?
Do you think their portrayal of what happened in the early 2000s would be clear and accurate anymore?
Lindsay's and Paris's would be. Britney's, no.
That would be a fascinating table for 3.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right, Didi, what are you who are you picking from this wild collection of people?
Well, a side note, I've actually drank with Ryan Cabrera before. That's a fun story.
I don't like that.
Random couple friends used to
Literally, if you would have said I drank with one of these people on this list, I would say anybody but Ryan Cabrera, please.
I drank with Ryan Cabrera before. So fun. But yeah, it's not even really a great story. It's just like one of my friends was friends with him and he was just there. And it was like, oh. So all night I just had to act like that wasn't Ryan Cabrera, that I knew who he was. Because the problem with me is it's not like I'm fanning out over Ryan Cabrera. It's like I just want to ask him a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
About like the 2000s that are not things that you ask if you're not your friend.
Yeah.
So like, you know.
And like, how did you get WWE superstar Alexa Bliss to marry you? That's everybody wants to know that.
So I don't know anything about him today, but he feels like truly.
No, you're not alone in that, Chris.
Okay,
that's the one fact. What Dan just said just now is the one Ryan Cabrera fact from 2023 that anyone knows.
That's good because he feels like the total outcast amongst these 4, 8, 12 people. Like all of these 12 people are supremely famous at like what they do or did. And then Ryan Cabrera is like a guy who played music and he's the one that dated Ashley Simpson, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what his Wikipedia page probably says.
Yeah. Like he didn't even get like the comeback. Like, cause remember like Jesse McCartney was like making the same music. There were like, you know, a group of those dudes all making the same music. Ryan Cabrera, Jesse McCartney, whatever. And then Jesse McCartney in like 2010 put out like dope records in like 2010, 2011, put out actually good music. Ryan Cabrera didn't even do that. He just like he just lived there in that time period. But anyways, The Rock, Lindsay Lohan, and Paris Hilton.
Oh,
that's who I would drink Trulies with. And it was gonna be Miley Cyrus, but then I saw Paris Hilton's commercial for the Olympics for 2024, because I don't know why you need commercials for the 2024 Summer Olympics, NBC, in the beginning of 2022.
I got my letters.
You don't know what the commercial's for. It's Paris Hilton talking, and she just goes, Paris. And then Paris 2024 comes up, and you're like, somebody's a goddamn genius over there at NBC. Shouts to you. That is what you do with your 30 seconds during the NFL playoffs. God damn it. That's it. Paris Hilton. Let's go. I'm ready for the Olympics now. I'm ready.
Wow. I could see how that could sway your vote. I can't wait to see that.
I was not ready for it, dude. I wasn't ready, but it was goddamn great. Because you honestly think it's like a commercial for Peacock or a commercial for just like, I don't know, some reality show that's coming up. Anything. Literally anything. Not the Summer Olympics. That I didn't even know where they were until I saw that commercial. But now I'll never forget it. Were the Olympics? Oh, Paris Hilton. Paris. Done.
Incredible. A year and a half out. They got you already hooked.
Yep. Ready to go.
For me, I got to go The Rock. John Daly. I'm going John Daly because the man has probably some of the most fascinating stories that there is to tell. And I just feel like he would pound those things, those Trulies, just pound them. and that would be entertaining alone. And then I got to go Miley Cyrus. The fact that we're keeping it to Truly's makes me feel like we could keep it somewhat under control enough. Otherwise, it could get a little bit out of hand. And those three make no sense being sat together at any sort of table. So that's why I think The Rock, John Daly, Miley Cyrus. It just feels right. It just feels right, and it would be a wild time.
I know John Daly is technically an athlete, but I feel like him and The Rock are like polar opposite humans.
Yes, which is why it'd be fascinating.
Yeah, that would be funny.
There's something to golfers, right? Like golfers before Tiger Woods weren't athletes. Golfers after Tiger Woods are athletes. Like there's a difference. Like the way golfers look now, they look like Tiger, like an athlete. John Daly, he's a part of the group before that. Like no, Phil Mickelson doesn't look like an athlete, guys. Sorry. Like he does something that I'll never be able to do with a golf ball. None of us ever will be. But calling that man an outfit on an athlete is crazy. Sorry.
It checks only his calves. If you've ever seen his calves, that's about. I mean,
yeah.
Google it right now. It's kind of disgusting.
No.
But otherwise, everything else makes no sense. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the GOATs, John Daly.
Like, Pete Davidson doesn't get picked by any of us here. The only reason why is because I'm not single. I'm not trying to hang out with Pete Davidson. Just too many women around. Too many. Like, because that's the thing. It's not like, and not just regular. I'm like, regular women, cool. But like Pete Davidson, I can't be around all that all the time.
No.
I just can't. I can't.
No. That's why I'm choosing Lindsay, Brittany, and Paris 20 years later. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'll have Truly's with Pete Davidson in 2043.
Right.
Yeah. It's like I can't. Like it's just too much going on with Pete Davidson. I can't be around all that. Like,
yeah.
No. Got a wife and kids, man. I can't do that. Pete. All right. Let's do best pizza style. Let's do that.
Let's get it.
Throw this chart up. Best pizza styles: New York, Detroit, Chicago, St. Louis. I don't know if you guys know this about me, guys, but I love Detroit pizza. And I am picking Detroit pizza over it. And Detroit pizza does not get talked about. It's one of those more like, I feel like maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like Detroit pizza is something. It's like, if you know, I didn't even know Detroit had their own pizza. I just happened to know a group of friends who were all from Detroit, and they talk about Detroit pizza. And I never had it, but I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. I love this. And it's not messy or knife and fork or too big. It's square pizza and it's great.
So I do like all these styles. They're all great. I don't think I could have told you that St. Louis style was called St. Louis style. The thin crust, like they call it like a cracker-like crust, right? There's no yeast in it. It's a little crunchier. Could have never told you that. The other three, easy peasy. And I like New York and St. Louis style because like you can crush them. I love being able to crush a lot of pizza, especially after a long night out. You just want to crush some pizza. The other two were heavier. But Didi, I am with you. If you have a good, authentic style Detroit pizza, and I don't mean like the garbage that Pizza Hut's promoting right now. Like, no. Authentic Detroit style pizza, that's the one. That's the one, man. It has just the right little bit of crunch on that outside crust, and it's softer on the inside. And they can load up those toppings. And the key is somehow with the Detroit style pizza, they figure it out. Those toppings don't just come flying off the pizza when you're biting into it. They stay locked into that bad boy. And I'll tell you what, yeah, if you can find a good place that does it right, authentic, give me Detroit style. That's the one for me.
Well, guys, I didn't know, nor have I had Detroit or St. Louis style pizzas. I mean, I've had a thin crust pizza. I've never thought to myself, oh, I love this St. Louis pizza. So the choice for me came down to the kind that I've had, which is New York or Chicago. And New York is just boring to me. So give me Chicago. I can't now, it's like what's the setting or the situation where we're having it. If I'm in Dan's situation, like he said, where it's like you want to crush pizza after a night out, no, I'm not gonna go balls deep on a Chicago pizza because that's gonna get messy.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming that we're talking about like you just have a nice opportunity to have some pizza. And so I'm gonna go Chicago because I've never had bad Chicago style pizza. Just haven't.
Dude, I'm with you. I like Chicago style pizza. It's just not convenient. That's my problem with it. Just like what you just said. It's just not, it's just, you have to sit down and you have to focus and you have to eat it. Like, it's just, and I don't know. It's almost like you're not even eating pizza, but it's good though. It's great.
Yeah, it's kind of not like you're having pizza. It's more like you're having like a pie, basically.
Yeah. It's like you're having a pie. Yeah, that's my whole problem.
Didi,
with
you're
pizza,
pie guy. You're pie guy. It's like tomato pie.
But when you're telling me about, don't say that.
Tomato pie.
That ain't right. That ain't right, man.
Italiano. Mozzarella.
That just ain't right, dude. Get out of here. Oh, all right.
Didi's done with this topic.
God damn it. Tomato pie.
Mozzarella.
Mozzarella.
Pizza pie.
A pizza pie. Tomato pizza pie.
Okay.
Rigatoni.
God. Ew. Tomato
welcome
pie.
to St. Louis.
All right, here we go. All right, this will be the last one that we do because we're running up against time. How long could you go without leaving your house? This comes from Antonio Brown being stuck in his house. Police were looking for him, and this is from 2022. Antonio Brown, by the way, has an episode of Cribs. So that just came out like a couple weeks ago that it was on the front page of MTV.com. So yeah, shouts to Antonio Brown because we were talking about his crib right now. If you want to go check it out and see if you could live there and how long you could. But how long could you go without leaving your house? Anyone can come over, but you can't leave. How long do either of you guys think you can do that?
Yeah, this is interesting because the scenario is you work from home. You can have people over coming and going as you and they please, right? Basically. But how long could you go without leaving? Chris, I want to actually hear from you first because...
Well, you work from home.
Well,
you work more than all of us.
Basically. I'm like, of the three of us, you are in this scenario the most. Well, not in this scenario because you don't have people coming and going necessarily. You're not having parties every day, but you stay at home the most because you work from home 5 days a week. So I'm curious as to your comfort level in a scenario like this, where how long could you go before you're like, I gotta get out of here?
Yeah, well, I've built a fortress of solitude over here, boys. So yeah, in this thing, it's like a week, a month, a year, or longer. Definitely a week. I mean, I've done that. I think I just did that this week, probably, aside from going to the grocery store. I think a month would be stretching it. I think I could probably, like, if I had to, I could probably push it to a month. But like those weeks when, and this is the time of year, like this resonates because it's so damn cold outside. You can't take the kids out to like go to a park or something like that because it's like 20 degrees. Like kids are going to freeze. There's only so much you can do. So we do a lot of stuff inside and we deal with a lot of cabin fever this time of year. So, I mean, of those choices, I think I could probably, if I had to, I could make it to a month. I don't think I'd enjoy it. I think if I get to like 2 weeks, by the end of the second week, I'm like, all right, I gotta interact with somebody. I gotta go somewhere. I gotta do something. So 2 weeks is probably like my preference. I could push it to a month, but I don't think I could go longer than that.
Yeah, it's like, it's different than the mentality of like during the height of the pandemic, right? Where we like literally had to stay at home, but you had like your inner bubble. Like that was it. This is like basically Sinbad house party, like coming and going, like just a good time that you can have a good time. You work, people come, people go. But Chris, I'm with you on that timeline, man. I think 2 weeks would be it for me. Even with people being able to come and, hang out and stuff on the weekends, that's about as far as I could go without leaving. and doing something. A month would be killer. I think even with seeing friends, seeing family come over, that's a lot for me. That's a big ask. So I think I'd max out at 2 weeks, and I'd have to say, all right, it's time to go.
A week. I couldn't do it longer than a week. I would start losing my mind. Like fully start losing my whole mind after a week. And then just like the amount of food that we buy, we don't stockpile food. So like it would be a week before I started losing my mind.
Would it change either of your answers if you were in a house like Antonio Brown has? I don't want to say his house because you might think that he's going to be there. He would not. But a mansion, if you will.
He's there a day.
Yeah,
I'm gone.
He's there 8 minutes. But a house like that, mansion, pool, that type of thing.
That changes things.
Longer. Okay.
Yeah, it does.
That changes things. That definitely does. That changes things because some of the stuff that I want to be outside doing, I can do in that house.
Yeah.
So that does change things a little bit, but still, I mean, maybe that makes it like 2 weeks. Maybe that makes it 3 weeks, but man, like anyone who says anything over a month, I'm like, I want a wellness check on you. You live in a regular house and you say I could live a month, like that's a long time.
Yeah.
Like I don't care if you have kids or don't have kids, I don't care. Like a month is a long time.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way. No, not for me.
All right, well, boys, let's get into music, man. What we're listening to, check out the playlist on Spotify. Chris, I can't wait to know what you are listening to since Dan has an idea. I have no idea. Let's go.
It's just none of this is going to be new. So let's dive in.
Different than any other week.
Hey. Easy. It's similar to some weeks, different from other weeks. But it is very on brand. Yeah, man, I've just been real damn busy. Haven't been listening to a lot of music. So I'm going back into my own pop punk playlist on Spotify. And I think you can follow it if you want to. It's called Chris Gates Pop Punk. So feel free. Man Overboard is just my favorite Blink song of all time. And I've been kicking off my workouts with it lately. And it's been going great when I'm doing my heavy compound movements. So Man Overboard by Blink-182. Let's get it.
Nice. Any word on when that album's actually coming out?
No, I don't know.
They just keep saying it's coming.
They just
nothing.
But I mean, the tour is not that far away, so you kind of think the album can't be that far, like early spring.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Coachella put out their lineup, and I am very excited about it. So I'm throwing some artists on there that I'm really excited to see. Remy Wolf is on Saturday at Coachella. And I am super excited to hear Monte Carlo live. So Remy Wolf, Monte Carlo, can't wait.
I know you did that on purpose, and I don't appreciate it 100%. At all.
Should I go? Is this gonna get weird?
Depending on his next song, it might. Okay, where am I? I'm lost. Ava Max. Put out a song called One of Us, and
Cardio Queen.
Yeah, it's the last single released before her album Diamonds and Dance Floors, which is an amazing title, by the way. Comes out not very long, January 27th. It's on its way, and she's been on fire, and she's proven long ago and continues to do so that she's not this one-hit wonder with Sweet But Psycho. Like, she's here to stay. And she's putting out jams that are appropriate for the dance floor. I cannot wait for this album. Ava Max, One of Us.
Nice.
All right.
Chris, you should do a whole article on Ava Max's music and what it does to your workouts. What it does for your workouts. I promise you should. Okay. I call her the cardio queen.
Like a case study. A one-man case study.
Seriously, you should. I kid you not.
All right, I'll look into it. I mean, it sounds like
that
that's
BPM up, baby.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's an album
Get on that walk. You can't go. The walk pad can't handle Ava Max's music. You'll be like, I can't. Your feet will just whoa. I can't do it. I
Just
can't
run
whoa,
off the walk
whoa,
pad.
Whoa. Yeah.
Well, if that's an album that's coming out, here's an album that came out 25 years ago. I want to put the song "Give" from the Suicide Machines on our playlist this week. It's just got a ton of energy. If you're not listening to the Suicide Machines, I promise you they sound a lot scarier than they actually are. They're like a ska band with very high intensity and catchy everything. So yeah, I promise that's the oldest song I'm putting on the playlist this week.
Dude, when are we have to do the 20-year episode.
Yeah, we have to.
I don't know what topics we're gonna have otherwise, because it could be like a 5-hour episode, so we're really gonna have to figure that out.
Right.
But we have to do that. Yeah, so anyways, Willow is gonna be at Coachella also on Friday.
Okay, I gotta go, guys. This is bad. I looking at Dan's face, I feel uncomfortable now.
So I'm gonna throw some Willow on the playlist. I could throw a million songs on the playlist, so I don't know which one. I guess I could put Split here. I could put the Transparent Soul. I could put a bunch of things. We'll see what happens. I'll probably put a couple on the playlist, but Willow, Coachella on Friday. Can't wait.
If your third song is by Benny, we're gonna have a serious friendship problem. Hemlock Springs. Not sure if that name is familiar to either of you or anybody listening, but she's from North Carolina, singer-songwriter. She goes by the name Hemlock Springs, and apparently this song is big on TikTok, but I don't care and don't know that because I'm not there. The song is called Girlfriend, and it's super, super catchy, a little funky, and she doesn't have a lot of music out there. She's just kind of getting started, and I heard this song last week, and I was intrigued right away by the sound. But it's really, really fascinating. I really like the sound of her style. So Hemlock Springs, the song is called Girlfriend.
All right. Let's take it forward 2 years, guys. To the year 2000. Want You Bad from The Offspring, their album Conspiracy of One. There was a very random time back then when The Offspring was like, I don't know, they were like an underground punk band, and then all of a sudden they were on MTV for a very short period of time. This was that period of time. That's my last song. And I will do my best to have something from the last 5 years on next week's show. But then again, maybe I won't.
Don't do it. I just want you to have songs from 20 years ago every week, at least one. That is
this is going to be depressing.
A song from 2003.
That's
every week. That is your to-do list.
Didn't we do
the homework assignment I've ever gotten?
No. I don't agree with this. We did this now bracket for like 8 episodes, and like we did that already.
It's got to be specifically from 2003, though. Has to be 2003.
If Chris had to pick years, it would have been between 2003 and 2004. So you just gave him exactly everything he wanted. So
yeah, just let me break out my my old clicky iPod, and I'll find something. Don't worry.
Shuffle.
All right, and my last pick this week, Willow is on Sunday, Remy Wolf is on Saturday, and Benny is on Friday, and I cannot wait to hear Super Lonely live. Big shouts to Benny. Big shouts to Coachella. Can't wait. That's the playlist for me. That's my picks this week.
I hope you have a terrible time. Anyways, last song for me. Paramore released their third song since announcing their comeback, right? And it's a French title. It's pronounced C'est comme ça. And I don't know what they're doing, but this song sucks ass.
Oh, you never like listen to this because of how bad it is.
I know, and I'm not usually one to do that, to put a bad song on the playlist, but I'm doing it because I'm so afraid of what to expect for this new album next month. I dig This Is Why, but they wrote that song before they parted ways. So the other song they released, I wasn't a big fan of. Didi, I remember you liked it. You put it on the playlist. This one's just bad, man. It's bad, and I hope it's just the bottom of the barrel for them, and the rest of the album is strong. But now all of a sudden, I'm nervous for this Paramore album when I should be super, super excited. So if anybody feels otherwise, don't tweet me because you're wrong. But say comme ça, Paramore, check it out.
I don't like that song either, so I'm with you. I
Good.
listened to it. I don't like it. I was not a fan. It's always a bummer when a band that you love and they have all these hits or whatever, and they're going to play them on tour, but then their new album is just filled with like, oh, I guess we should go to the bathroom, or we should go get a beer songs.
I know. I'm already like planning this out. I got tickets
That's-
for going. I'm like, well, when Say Comme Ça comes on, that's the refill.
Yeah, that's not good.
Rough.
Yeah.
Rough.
Well, that is what we are listening to. Make sure you check out the playlist on Spotify, updated every time me and Chris get the songs to Dan.
True.
Yeah, usually on Fridays. Dan sends us a very mean text telling us, give me goddamn songs, you asshole.
Yeah.
And there's 4 clips in the drive, goddammit. All right. So, well, final thoughts, boys, on the brunch breakdown.
Shout out to Usher.
Oh, yeah. Usher. Big fan of the brunch breakdown, joining the illustrious group of Jordan Sparks and the whole Express company.
Yeah. Big fans.
Yeah.
Big fans. That was, oh,
I forgot about that one.
I love it. I love it. The fan club is stacking up.
Oh, yeah.
My final thought is we should have combined these topics into one. Like, how long could you stay in one house with the 3 celebrities you picked drinking Trulies? And if you could only have one style of pizza with them, what would it be? That should have been the cherry on top of all this mountain. I'm sorry it came to me so late, but
Hold that thought. Tune in next week to the brunch breakdown to find out.